Today we are going to talk about something that you have no idea what it is, but it's very important that you know what it is. It's called radio brain. This is something I made up. You have probably never heard of this. I mean, I didn't even Google it. Maybe it's on Google. I don't know. Radio brain is something that millions of people live with around the world, and they don't even know what it is. They don't even know that it can disappear. I see it so often in my clients. I myself had radio brain for 5+ years. Radio brain is when your brain feels like it's attuned to many different radio stations at once. Incomprehensible, rapid moving thoughts flying through your brain at the speed of sound. You may feel this when you are at the end of a workday, or when you're trying to sleep, or if you have some quiet time to yourself, or where it gets really bad is if you're in big cities and you're trying to meditate, you're trying to quiet your mind, and there's just this noise going on all the time, rapid firing thoughts, one subject to another, other people's voices, music lyrics, music tracks, and you start to feel like your brain doesn't even belong to you. It's just this wild horse running around the room and you can't tame it. And when you have radio brain, you can't actually properly focus on anything or calmly think or process about your life and your life decisions. So it's very, very painful. And for me, it was actually pretty terrifying as well. Now, I had radio brain times 1,000 because I had severe mercury poisoning. But even without mercury poisoning, people are still dealing with radio brain. Radio brain is going to keep you in short-term survival, okay? It's going to prevent you from having any true visionary thoughts about your life. And you're stuck in a very small world, just thinking very fast, looping thoughts. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're very lucky, might I say, because most people deal with this. Let's just say that the info that I'm going to share with you in this video, it's going to help you with anxiety, depression, lack of sleep, and just overall not getting along with your mind or your thoughts. Even if you don't have radio brain, pay attention. This is mission critical information. After many years of doing deep work, my radio brain is virtually gone. Okay, now it does rear its head every once in a while if I overwork, too many Zoom calls, too many phone calls, too many conversations, if I fall asleep with my iPhone next to my head, which I do once or twice a year, unfortunately, or if I spend too much time in big cities. That'll give you radio brain. After 8 years of helping people deal with their wild, incomprehensible, anxious minds, here's what I have discovered is the root cause of radio brain and what we can do to get rid of it. When you get rid of it, you feel like you step out of hell and into another realm. Not having this engine, this CD spinning 24/7, it gives you an entirely new perspective on life, okay? And it allows you to be more creative. The first and most impactful thing for radio brain is electrosmog, EMFs, and toxins. The electrosmog attunes the brain to the wrong frequencies, okay? This brain is a receiver of consciousness. It's not a generator like a lot of scientists once thought. It's an antenna. And no matter how much you meditate, you're going to have a hard time changing the channel if your brain is filthy and if your brain is dealing with all kinds of electromagnetic frequencies. These are things like Wi-Fi, cell phones, 5G, radio antennas, microwaves. All of this stuff is not natural for a human body and a human brain. It affects us. The human body runs on entirely different frequencies of the earth, of nature, Schumann resonance. This digital energy, while amazing in so many ways, I mean, I'm talking to you through a digital platform, it has a detrimental effect on the cellular level. On top of the EMFs, we're dealing with exponential levels of heavy metals, chemicals, parasites, and other things that corrode the health of the cell. And I've talked about this on dozens of videos in either my old channel, the Detox Dudes, or even on this new channel too. But essentially, these toxins create leaky gut, leaky brain, they destroy the cells, and they cause chronic inflammation. The health of your actual brain as an organ is mission critical to think about if you have chronic radio brain. Most people have inflammation in their brains and toxins in their brains, and you have to learn how to get this shit out and how to protect yourself from EMFs. Now, I'll dissect all of that in the future in another video. If you want me to go into EMFs and how to protect yourself, it's an entire 40-minute video on its own, so I can't do it on this video. Nonetheless, it's important to start researching. Now, the next thing that's very important in terms of radio brain, it's essentially the inability or the lack of understanding on how to protect your energy and how to have proper boundaries. Most people are sponges, soaking up other people's energies, other people's thoughts, other people's vibrations of their home, living situation, city, without knowing who they are and where they end and where their life situation begins. Like, a lot of people are walking around very porous, very open, and they don't actually know themselves well enough to know what is them and what is this shitty room that I'm in, and what is this shitty relationship, this shitty person, this really chaotic, toxic city that I'm in. And they take all of that stuff on personally because they don't know boundaries. And what happens is people get caught in incessant desire to people please, to make others feel safe, to squash their own thoughts or emotions for the sake of keeping the peace. And this creates energetic breaches. You can just look at prank videos on YouTube. I watch them sometimes when I'm bored. Not a good habit of mine. It takes some people many minutes to actually recognize that a boundary is being crossed. Like they're being harassed by the prankster, the YouTuber, and the YouTuber is like harassing them and being ridiculous. And people will just smile and nod or sheepishly turn away or very in a nervous fashion try and keep the peace. In my opinion, this is the average person. This is very standard. This is just a microcosm for how someone lives life. If you don't know how to say no, how to draw a boundary, how to speak up for yourself, how to disagree with someone, even if they're an authority figure, then chances are you are not in a sealed position in your life, energetically sealing and protecting yourself. And so all of this shitty energy gets in on a daily basis. The thoughts are a side effect of all of that shitty energy. They're not the cause. You have these constant chronic thoughts, or if you're hearing someone else's voice, you can feel someone else in your space when you're trying to go to bed. This is because your boundaries have been crossed. So you got to learn how to seal your auric field, okay? And it's not just about chakra balancing and Palo Santo. It's about being authentic, about being real. It's about speaking your truth, not in an arrogant or a mean way, in a protected, boundaried, sealed way where you love yourself and you have no tolerance for bullshit. When you're sealed, you'll be able to stay in your center. You won't absorb energy from others. You know where you end and where the world begins. So without this skill, it's a recipe to pick up gunk from the world. And again, that's going to create all kinds of little energetic breaches, which is going to get the mind rolling and running very quickly. Next, we have an inability to digest the day or to metabolize emotions. This is something we're not taught in our culture. Our culture does not put any emphasis on excretion or digestion. We're just always talking about eating, drinking, putting things in, consuming, but people don't know or have not learned about how to actually remove. And so people are energetically constipated. They're constantly taking in data, in conversations, in information, Zoom calls, food, drinks, and they have no idea how to take a good energetic shit. For me, almost every single evening, I'll sit quietly for 30 minutes and assess my life, myself, my body, my emotions, my thoughts, the conversations I had that day, or I'll do this in a nice salt bath as well. And this is a letting go process where I'm taking an energetic shit. You have to do this regularly to digest the day. If you don't digest the day, you get constipated. And when you're constipated, your thoughts will run. You cannot have a clear mind unless you digest events that have happened in a given day, a given week, a given month. You could be physically fit, you could be rich, you could have an easy life, but you could still be energetically constipated because you're not metabolizing and assessing and feeling what has happened in a given day. Most people are very sensitive. Even if you think you're not sensitive, a phone call can affect you. All of these things have an impact. And when you just go from thing to thing to thing to thing, phone call to phone call to phone call to phone call, you don't actually digest any of it. It requires patience. It requires an internal journey to start digesting your life. So obviously radio brain is complex. There's more to it. But if you have radio brain, you should know that this is not the way life has to be. There's the physical component, the toxins, the inflammation, and the health of your brain. There's the energetic component, your boundaries, how you show up in the world, and if you're able to digest and metabolize your life. Now, my thoughts flow effortlessly. Sometimes they're crunchy. Sometimes I can't sleep. Of course, there's stressful moments. I just had a baby. On average, I'm watching my thoughts. I can choose which ones I want to engage with. I can look at them and say, is that one true? Is that one true? Wow, this one's taking me down a weird path. And I'm slow enough in my body to watch it all happen. And this way I don't get constipated. If you're not slowing down enough to actually watch your mind and catch the thoughts, all of these thoughts they also further impact your body. So I'm not saying that the thoughts are the root of the issue, but when they come in and they're coming in at that rapid speed, they're also impacting your body. They bounce off of each other. Your emotions and your thoughts, they bounce off of each other, right? You got to learn how to cleanse your brain of toxins. You got to learn how to draw boundaries, how to be authentic, how to be real, and how to manage your energy. Managing your energy, protecting your energy is an essential skill set in 2025. If you want to learn more about how to do this, I'm happy to make an entire video on this subject. Just leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this video.